All right, so the Orchestra of the Americas has been touring for 16 years, and Jamaica's been included 3 times. So I have with me, fresh from the recent tour in Ukraine, Germany, and Scotland, violinist Darren Young. Morning, welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning.
And it's not the first time you've been with them.
No.
Explain how this works. Them find you, you find them, how this works.
All right, so the Orchestra of the Americas, formerly the Youth Orchestra of the Americas, is an orchestra which comprises of all the countries of the Americas. And so you can audition on YouTube. That's usually the way how they do it. They release the repertoire in December, and then they judge and see if you're at the level to make it into the orchestra. And you hear by about March, April, thereabouts, if you're in the orchestra. However, through my efforts with the National Youth Orchestra of Jamaica as the conductor, they reached out to me and asked me to be a part of their tour last year in South America, and then this year as well in Europe.
I suspect that certain countries would have more than just one person, right?
That's correct, because the bigger countries often have more people. For example, the United States of America had about 6 people in the orchestra. Venezuela had about 9 people, as well as Colombia.
But you're a conductor for our National Youth Orchestra.
Correct.
But you're a violinist for the Orchestra of the Americas.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a violist, actually. A viola is just a little bit bigger than the violin. It's
viola?
It's 5 notes lower, but it's pretty much the same technique.
What do I call you, a violist?
Violist.
That's the first I've heard that. So congrats on teaching me something. Is it the same thing? Is it the same thing? I mean, you conduct here, but you play there. Was it... is that a step down or no?
No, not by any means. It's more like revitalizing your artistic creativity when you step into this orchestra, because it's nice to be a musician, you know, in terms of just producing the sound versus relying on other people to produce the sound.
Right, and you would have a conductor to conduct you, or
yes.
what do you call him, a maestro? Or?
Maestro, yeah, maestro preto.
But you read music?
Yes.
I've never understood that, because he's in front of you, you're watching what he's trying to do, but you have to read at the same time, so how would that work?
So what happens is that what's on the paper is really just the pitches that tells you how high or low the sound should be. And then they tell you loud or soft, but nobody tells you how loud or how soft is loud and soft. So the conductor is there as the mediator between all the instruments.
So he tells you how loud,
exactly,
how soft?
Yes, and especially when you're playing with such a large group, it's often 80 to 100 musicians. So he kind of just keeps everybody in line together.
Show me how you would tell me whether to make it loud or soft.
Sure, so it's all about the beat pattern, right? So if you see me doing large beats, this is saying loud and soft too, right? And then you can tell them to back off, right?
Back off would mean?
As in, like, hey, you're too loud.
Okay.
Or could I have you louder? Follow how loud I'm getting. Yeah, you say, yeah.
And this is consistent right across the world, or what you do in Jamaica would be different from what they do there?
Right across the world.
Where did you learn that?
I studied at the State University of New York, college at Fredonia.
And you've been playing this for what, 22 years or something like that?
22 years.
Why? Well, you've been playing the violin or the viola?
Both, actually. Violin, viola, and cello are
this is what?
Instruments. This is the viola.
But it looks like a violin.
Yeah, the violin is actually just a little bit smaller, but they do very different things in the orchestra.
But same strings, everything?
Different strings, but yes.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. And you've obviously mastered this.
Well, no, nobody ever masters the string instruments. You know, it's still the master of you. But we try to learn as much as we can, because we're always pushing the edge of the technique.
So there's still more after 22 years, and you're a maestro, and you played in the Orchestra of the Americas. There's still more to learn?
Yes, Yehudi Menuhin always said that, you know, he was 92, I think, when he died, and he was still a student of the violin.
Fantastic. What you going to do for us this morning?
So I'm doing a little bit of Bach. This is a suite number 1. These are just a couple movements from suite number 1. And it shows off the resonance and the sound of the instrument.
By the way, you're finished with the Orchestra of the Americas, or you plan to do another tour with them, or what?
Well, with the Orchestra of the Americas, you're never ever finished, because you're always family. And so you can always go back in the tour if, you know, if that needs be. You can be a soloist, or they can just invite you, you know. So.
At the end of the day, how did you feel about it? Were you impressed with what you did, or were you a little bit disappointed that you, what?
Oh, I was most impressed, because I got to meet Krzysztof Penderecki. I was in Europe for oh man, a month, and we played in the finest concert halls. The Elbphilharmonie is the world's perfect concert hall in Hamburg, Germany, and it was just a pleasure to play in there.
Yeah, well, this is not necessarily the finest concert hall, but it is a fine concert hall.
Yes.
Here is Darren Young, violist?
Violist.
I don't know. Here he is.
Thank you.